So let's talk about Connor Bedard and Team Canada, because I mean it's sort of a big deal that he's here. He's one of like a few 16-year-olds. We're talking McDavid. We're talking Bouwmeester. We're talking Eric Lindros, and some fucking guy named Wayne Gretzky. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I don't know.
So here's the, like
you're forgetting Jason Spezza
and Crosby. Yeah, did I say Crosby? Yeah,
you said Crosby.
I didn't say the whole list.
That you got the entire list except for Jason Spezza.
Oh
yeah.
Fuck him.
Here's
sorry, I'm a little sweary this evening.
I was about to say, geez, this is hey, you know what? These are children, followed by 7 consecutive F-bombs. Like, so Connor Bedard, here is the mantle being placed on this young man. Because last year, granted in a weird year, very shortened WHL season. In fact, just 15 games for him. First of all, he's 15 years old. He shouldn't have been playing in the league. But he's so good that he got an exemption. In 15 games, can you guess Connor Bedard's stat line? How many goals? How many assists? How many points?
I'm gonna. This is a total swing. I don't really know. I'm gonna say he has as many goals as the Oilers' depth currently. So he's got a goal, 0 assists, and he's about a -6.
In 15 games in the WHL with the Regina Pats
last year, he had 12 goals, 16 assists for 28 points.
Is that good?
As a 15-year-old who should not have been in the league.
What about now?
He hasn't done the second level of math yet in high school.
Oh,
like he's 15.
Well, no, he's 16 now.
Okay, so when he had those goals.
Bullet dodged, Connor. Connor, all you got to do is be the best hockey player in your age group in the entire world, and you won't have to do the worst kind of math.
Yeah.
Imagine being so good at hockey that you don't ever have to do math with letters.
How nice is that?
God, so good. But this year, there was debate as to whether or not he would even be on the team because he has taken an epic step backwards to just a point a game.
Oh.
What a bum.
Well,
frankly, I think it's an outrage he's on the team.
Could it be that people have just, they understand now that this 16-year-old is really, really good and they're covering him properly? And then on top of that, here's what I want to throw at you. Remember that when you're playing in a league like he's playing in, don't they go up to 20?
They do go up, which is wild that they had a 15-year-old playing against 20-year-olds. But also, you know what was a big factor? There was training camp this time. Just everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So to me, what the unique season or whatever you even call it in the WHL had last year is there's not nearly as much structure. You're just looking at the most skilled players and what they can do. Right. And what he showed in those 15 games is unless you play with structure, he's going to destroy you. He's already 180 pounds. He's 5'9", but again, he's a child.
How?
He's going to get bigger.
Okay, let me ask you this. Would it be fair to say that at certain points in this tournament, the opponents may be less skilled than some of the teams he's facing right now in the WHL?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Yes and no.
Like as a team, collectively as a team, let's say and I'm just throwing names out there because I don't actually know here. Is Switzerland, is Slovakia, is Austria, is Germany? Is Germany? Could they be a competitive team in the WHL? Would they win the WHL? I'm sure they'd be competitive. But would they win?
That's a very, very good question, man. I'd like to see that.
Me too.
Would. And we're not talking about like the Subway Super Series.
No.
We're talking about the best they have to offer against like, I don't know, the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Like just some random WHL team. You randomly plunk Team Slovakia into the WHL. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. That'd be, again, the things I would fund as a billionaire.
So
I just want to see.
So fair to say that Canada goes into this as one of the favorites, if not the favorite. They often do. They should.
3 undrafted players, which is a lot for them, but 2 of them are not even draft eligible yet. That's Shane Wright, who might go first overall this year. And then we didn't even talk about him. Connor Bedard, who's probably going to go first overall in 2 years.
One guy I want to highlight too from the Canadian roster is Owen Power.
First overall pick last year.
First overall pick, and really, I think because of COVID, and you know, you download a hockey podcast, so you're an intense fan. But as far as the average person who watches the sport goes, how many of them can even remember that the draft happened last year?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like everything's so out of order. Like when McDavid came, that was a big deal, and I realized it was a Canadian pick. But McDavid was like, that was a big splash. Everybody knew.
The lottery, especially.
Yeah, and then, of course, when you had Matthews and Laine, and at the time it was like, well, who do you take? Do you take Laine? Do you take Matthews? That was a big deal. That draft and that whole situation, I like, again, you feel like that's something that's a story that takes over the league. The Sabres were bad. COVID was happening. The season didn't end till like almost August. And then there's like the draft, and you're like, who knows what's happening now? Owen Power, to me, because of circumstances completely out of his control and completely out of his skill level, it had nothing to do with this guy, is probably the least talked about first overall pick we've seen.
Probably since Eric Johnson.
Probably since
2006.
Eric Johnson was a free. So what do we know about Owen Power? What do we expect from Owen Power?
Well, like Eric Johnson, he's a first overall pick who plays defense, went to university instead of playing in the NHL. He's tied for the team lead on the University of Michigan. Again, he's a defender. In 18 games, he has 3 goals, 20 assists.
Is that good?
For 23 points. It's not bad. He's pretty big, too. 6'6", 213 pounds. And if you could bring up his Hockey DB page, this is one of my favorite player photos on Hockey DB.
His glasses?
He's got Kyle Dubas glasses in his photo.
He
I can't think of many players.
I'm not
going to
lie. They're a bit McLovinish. It's a bit McLovinish.
Oh my God, Owen Power should have worn the vest.
It's a little McLovin. A little bit, right? It's not totally.
Oh my God, you're right.
Do you see it?
That's very funny. So this is a player who, I'll be frank, I think he could have played in the NHL. But the Buffalo Sabres know how not to manage a first overall pick defenseman because they have one who they have completely thrown to the wolves in Rasmus Dahlin, but that ship has sailed far, far away. They knew this was going to be a lost season. They're like 5th last in the NHL right now, and that is a victory for them. And so it's smart. It's smart that Owen Power isn't playing with them, but it's super unfortunate for everybody that has to play against him because this is unusual that he's even able to play in this tournament.
Yeah.
The name that I want to bring up is Mason Mctavish because
who also played in the NHL.
That's the opposite of kind of what happened with Owen Power because he went 3rd overall in this past draft, and then he got 9 games with Anaheim. They gave him the 9 games before he burns his ELC, and he had 2 goals and an assist. He was good. This is a center going to the World Juniors who already played in the NHL, who's already scored 2 goals in the NHL. That's a luxury that the Team Canada is very lucky to have, and I think Mason McTavish might sneak in there and be like top leading goal scorer in the tournament.
I saw a stat, I don't know the exact one, but Zdeno Chara, who's currently an NHL player, I think was nearly a decade into his NHL career when Mason McTavish was born.
Oh, man.
And they were both playing in the NHL at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Cole Perfetti as well, also a name to watch out.
He's gross.
Who is going to have a dirty performance, and it's going to be really good.